What's up, guys? If you've been following along with us, we have been working on this 1983 shovelhead, and in the last episode, we picked up some ignition issues. The bike didn't want to start or run or do anything, essentially. We've got some ideas, and we're gonna tear into her today, so stick around. It should be fun, but probably not because shovelheads, something else is gonna break. So before we jump into the ignition, let's back it up a minute and let's kind of dive into why we're here today. Why are we fighting with this ignition? How did we get here on that journey? Let's travel back in time 6 or 8 months. So originally, this bike would have come with mid controls, foot pegs such as this, just like this little guy right here. And on our way to work, we put our foot down onto our foot peg, and it broke off, putting our foot on the ground. Kind of difficult to ride to work that way. So to upgrade the foot pegs, I decided I wanted to go with floorboards. I've got big gigantic feet, I'm a big gigantic bear, so I thought that floorboards would work really cool and keep them in a mid-control setup. Unfortunately, floorboards with mid-control shifters don't work. They run into each other. So we decided to upgrade to forward controls. And we would mount our floorboards on those forward controls. And it works out pretty good. But that leaves us with this leftover linkage, shifter linkage back inside the primary. Which then we had to disassemble the entire primary and the clutch, belt, compensator nut, starter solenoid, starter, oil tank, had to drain the engine, and the battery to get everything apart to remove this little guy. So yeah, 90% of the bike. So that brings us full circle. As we were assembling everything back together after getting all this stuff figured out, we noticed that our ground strap was not in the best of shape. So we decided, in the best of our wisdom, to run over to the parts house, grab a new ground strap. Unbeknownst to us, we may or may not have intentionally or unintentionally forgot to turn the ignition off in the process of doing that. And that's where we are today. So the next move is to grab our multimeter, and we're going to start checking some stuff. We're going to start checking the circuit breakers, making sure that we have power going to the circuit breakers and then to the ignition. Check out the ignition, make sure that it... wait a second. This wire energizes my system, and it wasn't hooked up to the battery. Is that... Oh my god, I can't be that dumb. Am I that dumb? Did I just not hook up the wire? Time out. Okay, so we're gonna just hook up all of the wires this time instead of just half of the wires and see what that does. This guy, if I could get it in there. There we go. Easy peasy. Now let's see if that actually works. Well, good news. I'm just an idiot. Okay, so we've got everything kind of loosely put back together. We'll get everything buttoned up, but I just want to see if she'll fire up, because you've been sitting forever. So let's give her a shot. Hey, look, that the ignition turns on when you hook up all your wires to your battery. Brain surgeon. just, we're gonna, yeah. Well, she runs. That's pretty cool, because this morning I woke up with the intentions of of fighting with ignition switches and wiring and circuit breakers and trying to chase down electrical gremlins and demons, and man, I just didn't have all the wires hooked up. I kind of feel dumb, but at the same time, I'm excited that I am just that dumb that I didn't hook up the wire, and I didn't have to like rebuild the whole entire ignition switch, a whole entire ignition system. I'm so excited I can't even talk. This bike hasn't really run much in like I said, 8 months, so I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty energized. I'm pretty excited. Here's what's next. This is what I'm thinking. Like off camera, I think I'm gonna or maybe I'll do a little time lapse thing, because those are always neat to watch, right? I'm gonna put this thing back together, and I think I'm gonna go take it for a ride. So let's do that. Okay, let's try it again. Well, that didn't sound good. there she is. From the on board footage, you can see we took her around the block, and she rides pretty dang good, guys. Some passing thoughts. What kind of to look into next? The rear brakes, of course, we changed all this stuff, right? So the rear brakes are, the pedal is a little bit like, it's firm, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of pulling power coming from the rear brakes. Now I do know that the rotor in the back is pretty worn out, and the brake pads are probably less than adequate. So we probably were going to do some brakes upgrading in the back there. The shifting is much more crisp and firm, and it's totally odd and weird from how it was when it had mid controls on it. Totally foreign, but it works. And neutral, of course, is a pain in the butt to find, just like all Harleys. But dang, dude, guys, she rides, she's running, she's starting and getting going again. There's some tweaking and tuning to do, but I'm pretty stoked, guys. I'm pretty stoked. I appreciate everybody following along. Keep following along. We're gonna do more projects. We're gonna keep doing stuff to this bike. We got another bike over there, the Road Glide, that needs to be worked on. So we're gonna keep doing projects, guys. We got a Springer front end to put on this thing at some point. I want to find another wheel for it that has like a mini drum brake on it. The wheel that I have with it right now is just a spool front wheel, so I don't want to, especially with these rear brakes the way that they act. I want to roll with, I want to be chopper, but I don't want to be sketchy chopper to the point where I wreck and die, right? Like if we want to keep making videos and we want to keep riding bikes and we want to keep fixing on bikes, we got to stay alive. So we're gonna look for some stuff in the future. Keep hanging out with us, guys. I like doing this stuff, and I love when guys tune in and we learn from each other, and I really appreciate everybody's support. If you haven't, of course, like, comment, tell me I'm a dumbass for missing that wire. I'm telling myself I'm a dumbass for missing that wire. Comment, lots of stuff, whatever, I don't care. Your bike sucks, the flames are horrible, whatever you guys want to say. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends, hey, there's this other goofball, he's working on motorcycles and he forgets wires. It's hilarious. So thanks again, guys.